Good afternoon. My name is Patrice Johnson, and I am a senior studying integrated multimedia at HPU. Currently, my family and I are stationed in Augusta, Georgia. As a result, I'm having to do this by video. Um, the purpose for this video is to spotlight my portfolio that was built in the 3400 Design and Portfolio class led by Dr. Brian Cannon. The initial project that I chose to spotlight is the magazine ad cover. It was a major assignment this semester. I chose to do something military oriented. The title of the magazine is The Military Brat. As you can tell by the font, it is more of a stencil militaristic style. The colors of green, of course, would reflect more of an old army look to it. Hi. The next project that I choose to spotlight is the second of the poster design assignments. This one needed to be done for the First Look Mixed Media Festival that happens each May at HPU. I wanted to use elements that are really common to Hawaii, and so I sat down and I drew a pineapple and the idea of water and sunsets. So what I did was I took both of the images that I drew and I toyed with them in Photoshop a little bit to get this combination. I also used the color scheme that is the actual colors for HPU, which are blue and green throughout. And what the line says here is break away from the norm, which is normally what people like to do is hang out on the beach, eating pineapple, doing the regular things. And I feel like the festival is offering you something that is a breakaway from that. This is a postcard made to accompany the poster that was specifically for the First Look Mixed Media Festival that will be held at the beginning of May. One of the things that I wanted to do was give similar elements from the poster, but take some of the stuff out so there's no background, and I played a little bit with the font. My second project is a poster design project. We were supposed to make something fictitious. I chose to deal with the issue of voting. It's very important this year, especially for us to vote. One of the main issues that is relevant to young people is the issue of student loans and interest rates going up. And I thought it would be important to remind them that while we all want to be heard, the best way to be heard would be to actually vote. The next project that I'd like to spotlight is the actual magazine ad. I chose to take a photo that I took on a flight coming into Seattle. I believe that this is Mount Rainier. I thought the shot was actually breathtaking. The only problem was I had to do a little manipulation in Photoshop because everything was washed out because there was a window in between my lens and the actual mountain. But I chose to do an ad for a fictitious airline by the name of Cloud Air, as you can tell by the logo, hence the little clouds. The tagline says, "See what you've been missing," because on their flights, window seats are on a first come, first served basis. This is a magazine ad that I created with a photo that I took of my husband. It is of him on the beach in sunglasses, and I thought it would be interesting to play on words. The company is advertising the sunglasses, and the name of their company is Eye Candy Optics. And the ad reads, "Nothing like the beach with eye candy." And it's kind of a play on the fact that many people go to the beach to actually see eye candy. The next project that I chose to spotlight is the logo design. I wanted to use a photo that I took of my son, and I went into Illustrator and took the color out after I had cropped it and took away the excess noise in Photoshop, and I made it a simple photo. And The product itself is for something that you would add to your hair to make it wavy. Um, so you have the curly font to match the fact that it's on top of the head. I think the next project I chose to highlight is the actual project for the AEJMC convention that they have each year. Um, this one was held in St. Louis last year. And I wanted to do something that was outside of the box because normally with St. Louis there is the arch. So I took a harmonica and I used the arches that I went in Photoshop and added to give that element. But I did learn a valuable lesson from this assignment when I did it, was that normally in these type of projects, sometimes the obvious is what the client wants. The next project that I chose to spotlight is a menu that I created for a fictitious restaurant and bar called Mel's Lounge. The lounge offers martinis, of course, and I kind of like the idea of playing with this martini glass. I worked with it a while and I realized that the element of the martini coming down and spilling into the actual title of the company was an interesting element to add. So if you notice throughout it all, it kind of spills over into it. Now everything was one color, but I realized once I tried to print that there were issues with the black and being able to see it. So in order to make it so patrons would actually be able to read the menu, I actually changed the color scheme just a smidgen. Draw Food is an art supply store that I made for the package design project. It specializes in providing all the supplies that you would need for your next art project. So that is why with the logo, I simply use the design of a pencil and I played with it a little bit. I hand drew this and then I brought it into Photoshop and did a little manipulation with that, and ultimately I finished it off in Illustrator. The next project that I chose to spotlight is the stationery project. It is inspired by my mother's love for cooking and my daughter's nickname given to her by my mom. I created the design for the little girl by hand and brought it into Illustrator and edited it and added color. The color scheme are two of my favorite colors, which are chocolate and blue. I wanted it to have a feel that you got a sense that there were sweet things happening at this establishment. This is the second of the stationery products that I've made for my portfolio. The title for the fictitious company is Misfit Fitness Boot Camp. And of course, this is Ms. Fit. And she has a scowl on her face, and her tagline is the tough love you crave. Because I know so many women deal with issues of wanting to lose weight, and sometimes you just need someone to get in there and be tough with you. For this project, I wanted to spotlight a CD case that I made previously. It has hand-drawn artwork with the spray can, as well as stuff that I did in Illustrator to make it look like the can is actually spraying. What I am so proud of is the fact that while we were in Hawaii, I got a chance to take pictures of some of the graffiti on some of the walls, but I did add an artistic element with an image that I had drawn, and once again with the spray to add that extra to the images. On the back, it has a list of the CD songs, and on the sleeves it has information like the actual company and the name of the CD. Lastly, there is a t-shirt design that is a combination of hand-drawn work with some things that I did in Illustrator. And that's it. I'd just like to say thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed watching my portfolio as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you.